We got to this one address. I said, this one goes around back. He went around back, boom, drove off, left them right at the stop.
That was after getting hit by a car.
Wait, you got hit by a car?
I ended up drinking 24 Bud Lights in about 48 minutes. Drunken nomad stumbles out and ready to hit me going 30 miles an hour.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining us on this episode of On the Delivery. This is episode 134, and this is sort of round two, but we'll explain that in a minute. Let's go around the table quickly, shall we? You guys know him, my co-host down in West by God, Virginia. Luke, how are you, buddy?
Fuck. The only thing I'm going to make sure I say the same as I did for round one was, one, you got the soundbite back, and yes. I gotta shout out the guy from my fantasy football league. In one of the longest weeks we've had, in a 4-day week, one of the longest work weeks probably of my career, and probably Zach's as well. And Friday morning, you know, he's a Monday through Friday driver. And so that's the end of I'm pretty sure he didn't volunteer for Saturday. And so he's in a fantasy football group with me, and we have a group chat, and our start time's 8:50, so we've been getting out late because everything's been backed up. But so it was early, and it was in the morning, and my phone vibrates, and it's Zach, and he had a poop box that he picked up from a nursing home early in the morning, and I don't know really exactly how it happened, but it spilled all over him, and so he had to strip down to thermals, long johns, and he had a helper, luckily, that delivered while he just drove. I just picture him driving around a UPS truck in long johns, but they apparently brought him clothes, and hopefully he just burned the other ones. But I kept thinking, it made me laugh so hard because I was so tired and so worn out. I think I'd worked 37 hours in like 3 days, and by Friday I was thinking I had a bad week, and then I see that text and I'm like, it can always be worse. So
That's a shitty situation.
Yeah, right. But no, I'm as we record tonight, I'm good, feeling good. Here's to the new work week.
Here's to the new work week in round two. Before we get started and introducing my co-host, introducing our guest, just got to give a quick shout out to our Patreon subscribers, Tony, Starla, Sam, Luke, Jacob, and Tyler. Thank you guys so much for the support. And if you want to become a Patreon member, become a part of the Patreon family, you can go to patreon.com/AITDpod. This is like deja vu, and it's so weird. So let us explain. We had round one of this recording last night, the night before, and we had technical difficulties, unfortunately, and ended up losing one entire track, which happened to be our special guest. So she is so I'm just so thankful that she's willing to do this again, and she's not like, over here trying to rip our heads off. But so let me introduce her, guys. She's been a driver since 2018. She's been modeling since she was about 16 years old. You may have seen her on Instagram. She goes by the name Kimba Savvy. Guys, please welcome Kim. Kim, how are you?
Ooh, I'm doing good. I'm great.
Thank you so much for doing this again.
I know. Round two. Let's go.
Yeah, for real. That, we definitely appreciate it, because when Dave texted me that this morning, I was like, shit.
I was so upset. I was like, oh no. I was like, did I do something wrong?
No. It was just like, it was one of them things, because I thought, I didn't know if, for this to work out like it did, we definitely thank you for coming back on. But this is another one of them. I don't want to say I probably said it too much at the end of 2024 because I talked about because we came back and started podcasting again in August, and how relatively smooth things had gone. So I said it a lot. So it's probably me. I'll take the blame, but definitely. Definitely, as I said before we started recording, I think I'll be a better version of myself tonight because I'm a lot more. I'm another day removed of not being getting my ass kicked by cardboard, but that'll be starting tomorrow for whenever you're listening to this. But everybody in the Brown Banner, I hope the SurePost is treating you well.
Yes. So, let's get this going, shall we? Kim, please take us back. Tell us, Rhode Island, you said? Born and raised?
How back am I going? Am I going when I was born and how I got here? Or back?
Absolutely.
I remember. See, now this is what's crazy about doing round two, because I remember stuff now because... I was gonna say not born and raised. I already know. So I said we got to go. We got to go back. We got to go to Puerto. We got to go back to the beginning. Then we at least got to do that.
We're going back to the roots.
Yep.
So I was born in Puerto Rico, in Ponce, and then I moved to Connecticut with my mom when I was a little baby because I kept getting sick because the Sahara Desert, the dust flies over to Puerto Rico, and as a baby it kept making me sick or whatever, so she moved up north for better medical. And then I grew up in Connecticut until I was like 10 or 11. Spanish was actually my first language. I learned English here and in school, and then I moved to Rhode Island because my stepfather basically bought a gas station and managed it here in Charlestown, Shannock, Rhode Island. Shout out. And then I ended up just staying here.
Awesome.
Little old Rhode Island.
That's amazing. So that's funny though, because you didn't mention yesterday about the dust thing.
No,
so that's okay. All right.
I'm trying to add some new stuff. Throw you guys off track.
I love it. I gotta keep it fresh. So, I'm glad you're doing good. Like, has there been has there been anything you've noticed? Like, has that been something you've grown up with? Like the dust?
Yeah, I grew up. I still have allergies now. They're just not as bad because I'm older now. But when I was younger, I actually had to get the inside of my nose cauterized.
Wow,
really?
It's painful, especially when it's dry out. Imagine it. Like a scab you get. And it dries up and it's hard. Imagine that, but in your septum.
Ooh.
Oh.
So it's so bad. So bad.
And that's just from allergies now.
It's from allergies and all that stuff. Because I also had I think it was related to allergies because nobody really knows why we get nosebleeds. But I've had nosebleeds severely as a child. So bad. And so they cauterized it to help with that. And, that's just what I deal with every day in the wintertime.
Is nosebleeds? No, but
I used to, yes. But now it's cauterized, no.
I just pictured you driving around in a truck with a tissue just up your nose, just stopping.
Oh yeah. No. I think everybody would pull me off road if that happened. They'd be like, "Pull over right now."
Yeah, what
Oh my god.
It was weird for me with allergies. I didn't have them as a kid, but I ended up getting them when I was 20 years old. And the way that I'd found out was I don't even think they do it here anymore but in the summer times when I was in high school and stuff, there would be people that would bale hay at farms that would be around in this area. And one of the coaches and teachers from my high school, I was in college then, but it was I worked 4/10s, so I didn't work on Fridays. I'd work Monday through Thursday, and they called me. A friend of mine called me, and it was just hey, we needed. We were short a couple people. If you want, I was like, yeah, whatever. I hadn't done it in a couple years, and I hadn't been around it. And let's just say I found out the hard way. I was like, holy shit. And I ended up having allergies. I didn't have to go to the hospital or anything, but I looked like
you were crying.
Oh, I looked like I got my ass kicked. It looked like somebody just punched me in the face like
Swelled
multiple
up?
times. Like I could see it in my hands, in my like arms, because I got cuts.
Oh shit!
And somebody asked if I was okay, and I was like, I don't know, I feel weird. And I looked in like one of the side mirrors of the trucks. And was like, oh, yeah. And that was So that was and ever since. I mean, I've gotten. It's not as bad now, but yeah, allergies were weird for me. I didn't develop them until I was later in life.
I'm allergic to all nature. Go figure. Like pine and grass. You want to know what's so funny? Okay, you know they do the allergy test where they prick you like 30, 50 times, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm allergic to anything nature, like pollen, grass, mold, mildew, like oak, like trees, literally. But I'm immune to poison ivy.
Oh wow!
I
wish I was immune to
coworkers
poison
that
ivy.
get like the poison ivy rashes and stuff because you know sometimes I have to walk through that to get out of the truck. Yeah. And one day, this kid, my best friend Jimmy, he's a driver too. He was doing a route that I used to do, and he told me he had poison ivy all over his arms and his legs, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" Well, like, what do you mean? I'm like, "I do that route all the time. I don't get anything." So that's how I found out. I don't. I guess I'm immune to poison ivy. Is that how you say it? Immune? I don't know.
Yeah, immune. It would just be there's people. I've known people like that have been able to like they could literally like roll in it if they wanted to and wouldn't get it. So it's that's always been. I
get that shit bad.
Do you?
Yeah, dude, I get it bad.
I'm not that. I'll get it, but not bad. Ashley will get it bad though. She does.
Yeah. Yeah, like yard work, like I gotta be fully clothed for yard work, which sucks. Like on those hot days, like if I'm out back,
if you're weed eating, man, it's like a grenade explosion of poison.
Terrible. It's terrible. I wish I was immune to poison ivy.
So does that like with the pollen and stuff and tree like? How does that with your routes? Does that ever affect you?
Oh yes, if I do like rural routes, like up in the boonies in the springtime, my eyes get really freaking dry, and like my nose starts running, and it feels like I have like a small cold, but I don't. And so I know in the springtime I have to pop an allergy pill every morning, because if not, I will be dying, literally dying.
Oh, God.
That's what I rolled with Claritin for years. Switched to Zyrtec for a while,
but both of them. I do the same thing.
They're over-the-counter allergy pills. They do. Yeah, there was one of the supervisors I had. He used to on a ride along one time. He told me he would have to get a shot at the hospital. He had to get like an annual shot, and I always thought like. I feel like, sir, I've literally been struggling so bad in a Claritin or Zyrtec. Literally, I'd feel like as big of a game changer it is, it kind of does blow my mind. It's just something you can buy over the counter if you have bad allergies.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I just look at the trucks and like a lot of them have like that coating of just like
the yellow coating of pollen. Yeah.
So gross. Yep. So gross. Yep. Actually, I saw a picture the other day. Somebody uploaded in one of the UPS group photos or whatever. This guy, he like, what's it called? Dip? You know, when you put it in your mouth or whatever?
Okay. Yeah.
He spits all over his dash.
Oh.
So imagine that with like all the pollen, the grease, the soot that's inside those trucks on top of that. And like the guy literally put a status and he was like, this is probably the dirtiest and the most smelliest truck I've ever had to deliver out of. I was like, if that were me, I'd be like, nope, I'm bumping somebody. I'm not staying in this truck. Like, how? You live disgusting. More in your truck than anywhere else.
Yes.
That's disgusting, yes. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Our very first guest we ever had on, Misty, if Misty, her head would explode if she heard that. If she stepped inside of a truck, somebody spit and snuff. It's right though. Like, you're literally in that truck more than you are anywhere else. That's basically your office. And to just know that.
There's another story. I heard a guy, he would pee in RDL or RDR.
I've heard of people doing that too.
Yeah. Disgusting.
Like, straight up in the back corner of the truck. Like, what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing?
I don't know.
Disgusting. Disgusting.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. Listen, sometimes I drop my Invisalign trays in the truck floor and I look at it and I'm like, what do I do now?
I know.
In a bathroom, I need to scrub these.
There's no 5-second rule. No, there's no 5-second rule in these trucks. Not a chance.
Oh, but I just stare at it and I'm like, I have to really go clean this with some soap now. Like, I have to go to the bathroom and get soap. Like, I usually clean it with a toothbrush and toothpaste, and I'm over here working like, well, hopefully I don't get sick.
You're like, shit.
No, it's so true. Them things are so dirty.
Oh,
Gross.
God.
I've had people when you've delivered, especially, like we didn't have hardly any. This past summer, we had like zero rain. It was one of the driest summers we have had here that I can remember in my lifetime. So it was extra dusty in those. Like I would just be delivering like stuff that would be in a bag, and it would just be like when I would just pick it up off the shelf. Just the bottom of it, it would just be absolutely like I would just hand it to people, and it was a white bag, but it would look like it was like gray. Just people would just look at it. You could just smack it and just get the dust off of it. And I'm like,
oh yeah.
People would always, I don't know. Yeah, they're
gross.
I'm starting
gross
to
people.
I'm starting to have flashbacks. So yeah. People used to ask me, like, when HelloFresh first came out, I used to always laugh at it because I don't even want to say it. I don't want to say it because there's probably too many people that order that shit now. But
there is on a schedule too. I used to order Fresh, but mine used to come through a different company.
See, it's better if it's not one you don't work for. That you act like you don't know what.
Whenever I got it from UPS, it looked demolished. Whenever I got it from the other companies, I'm like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. Look at it. It's just, I'm like, oh, this is interesting. And then I always just chalk it up to, well, that just means UPS has a lot more volume in business than any other company. I'm like, this is poor in my head saying that to myself right now.
We're all programmed, really.
I know, we are. We're like, oh, UPS the best.
Brainwashed.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, obviously, UPS, that's why you're here. Take us back to how you got started with the company.
Oh, okay. So I got started after I went through a really bad breakup, and I couldn't afford my rent anymore. So I had to get extra jobs on top of my main job I already did. So originally, I worked in a salon. I have my cosmetology license, so I cut hair.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer to cut guy hair too. I don't know if that's weird or not, but that's what I like to cut guy hair. Women hair is a whole nother story. But anyways, so I used to cut hair. I used to drive for Uber and Lyft and do Uber Eats. And I had to get a roommate in the house I was renting. And it still wasn't enough. So then I was like, let me find something that's part-time and flexible, because that's how they portrayed it to be. And I said, okay, let me apply. And I pushed it off for like a month or two. And then I was like, you know what? Let me just go and find out what it is. So I came in and we sat down. It was like a whole team interview. Like 5 or 6 of us were in the room. And she was just telling us this, that, the fifth. And then she goes, okay, you start tomorrow, 4 a.m. And I was like, what? What do you mean? Ma'am, what? I need more time than that. I can't just mentally prepare to be here for 4 a.m. I was like, what? I still have another job. Like, okay. And I just sucked it up and I did it anyway.
Yeah, it's so funny how like they think like they own us.
Yes.
Like it's weird. It's a little weird. Like it's like we are now just under their.
Well, when I started Preload, I was 22 and I was like still in college, and I was in party mode. So I used to say, I was like, oh, 4 a.m. I'm awake at that point. But like, it was like, I wasn't thinking about it. I was just a different kind of awake. But yeah, preload, it got me hard the first year. But like I said, like last night, I had, looked back and there was some good memories. There were some fun times there too. But
so when I came in and I started as a spa person, which is the person who puts the label on the packages as it goes by.
Oh yeah.
And it's so funny being a driver now and thinking back to that position, because as a driver, you're like, why the is this label covering the label? Like, why is the panel covering the label? I can't see the address. But as a spa person, the reason why that ends up happening is because the last time you look at that box is where you end up putting the label. So in order to scan that package, you're looking at the barcode. So when you grab the label that prints out, it's the last spot you looked at. So like you have to, and sometimes when you have it on high speed, because they'll have a trailer of air cans, so it's like 4 cans. It's going. You can't even think. Like it's just like boop, 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 and you're just slapping it on there. And then on top of that, the sorter is like, I want the pal on top, pals on top, pals on top. They're literally screaming at you that the pal needs to be on top, not on the side, not on the other side, not on the back side, not on the edge, like on top, labels on top. And then when it gets to us, we're like, look, we want the label, we want the pal on the side. So we can put it like a library, you know?
Right.
So it's so funny to see like all the different positions and how they actually line up.
You just saying that just gave me a little sympathy for those guys now.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm usually flipping. I'm like, you got the entire fucking box to put the label on.
I was about to say, for all the drivers out there that bitch about that, you everybody hear that now, because it's true. They especially when that belt goes on high speed, it goes quick.
See, so you know how when it's coming down the belt for like the sorter to pick?
Yes.
That is not how it comes off unloaded from the unloader.
That shit's flying up there.
Yeah, it's flying. So you have to literally scan and go. And that's why there's so many missed pals too, because if I'm unloading 4 cans, there's 4 unloaders in each can unloading, and they're throwing stuff on the belt in between each other. Yeah. So it's like boom, 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 boom. and then it gets all messed up when your machine runs out of labels and it goes like it literally makes that sound. It goes and you're like, oh crap! You got to stop the belt. You don't know where you ended off. Some of them went without a pal. You're just like, oh my god. It's like everybody's freaking out. Then the unloaders are like, what are you doing? I'm like
where's the box?
It's so
the world over there.
God, you're taking me back, because that's exactly what I can remember when the labels would run out. I could think of the old unload supervisor back then. Shout out to Joe Young. He was a guy I knew long before that as well. Yeah, I could just hear him yet just screaming down there, hey, why's the belt off? Why's the belt off? And just be like, it was, God, that just, man, it's crazy. It's been that long ago. Yeah, I'm glad, I think it's good for, and, you know, I'm not trying to put Dave under the bus either, but I've said, you know, he only preloaded for a month, so he does. I think a lot of times he doesn't understand. Like I think drivers that don't do that as much are less lenient, and that's not a knock. I think it's just true. It's just the way.
What did you do inside, Dave?
So I spent most of my time in the sort aisle.
Small sort.
Yeah. No. Like, you know,
sorting aisle.
Yeah, like red belt, yellow belt.
That's what I call it. Octopus.
Yeah, I did the spot thing one time. I lasted like 2 minutes, and I was like, "This is fucking insane." Like, I give you guys props.
I was a G. I was the top one. Like, my preload manager was like, "Where's Kevin?" Like, he knew. He was like, "No, nobody else can do this except for her."
Yeah, I give those people mad props, because that shit goes fast.
It does.
And then yeah, sometimes I would do the small sort. I loaded trucks, but I was mostly doing the small sort or like the big, just a regular full sort. But like, yeah, that was it. But yeah, they were like, hop on this, hop on Spine quick. I go up there, it lasted like 2 minutes, and they were like, nah, bud, like get the hell out of here.
And they probably had it on slow for you too.
You're probably right.
Not to knock you, but I remember when I first started, it was on low, and they put me with like an older unloader. And then by like week 3 or 4, they were like, "Oh, you're good. Fast speed with the fastest unloader going. Boom, 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 boom." So
yeah. I feel like you really got to get into a rhythm with it too. Like you just like, I don't know.
I used to bring my speaker, so you get paired up after a while with who you work best with.
Yep.
And my unloader, his name was Rob. And I would bring in my speaker, and we'd be banging that music and just going through the trucks like water. It was great.
That's incredible.
And then incredible. I also did DMP.
Yeah, what's
We
that?
were talking about that last night because I knew what it was after you explained it, but I can't remember what it stands for.
Damaged material packages.
God,
Yep.
so bad.
So like, I don't know how. I think it's because I kept asking my manager for more hours, and I was like, I need more hours. I need more hours, and he was like, okay, well, here, come down here. And I met the union steward, and he was in charge of DMP areas. So he actually taught me how to do all of the stuff for the leakers and picking up broken packages and repackaging them and all that stuff. And that became like a whole nother like 10 to 15 hours extra for me on preload. So I was getting paid overtime, and I'm just like, yeah, I ain't telling nobody nothing. I leave here at the same time as you, boo boo. Oh my God. But
That's
yeah,
incredible.
it was a great time.
Totally. Gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ah, man.
So when you started and you were you were working as a cosmetologist at that point too when you first started
Yep.
preloading?
When I was
So
preloading, yeah.
like what hours did you? Because that's what my wife. I think I told you that's what she would agree. I think I don't want to speak for her because but I'm pretty sure she says the same thing about guys' haircuts because it's just more laid back, more
guys are
chill,
just more chill. They're just more
and
chill.
women. Yeah, she would agree with you on that.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
So like, were your hours? Because for me, like when I started preloading, because I played football when I was in school, and I never really missed any class. I didn't start skipping class, so I started preloading because I was dragging ass.
Tired.
So,
Yep.
did that affect you with your other work, or were you able just to roll through it?
So I was like, I would say like if it was a full-time job, it was like a split schedule almost. So like I would go do preload, drive home, shower, eat something, maybe nap for an hour or two, and then go to the next job, then come home, sleep, and then wake up and then go to preload.
Yeah,
so like I didn't sleep straight 8 hours, but I got my 8 hours throughout the day.
I got you.
And sometimes at the salon it was good because like if we were slow enough, they'll be like, "Oh, Kim, you can leave early," and I'm like, "Yes." Like, yeah, let me go home and sleep, bitch. But yeah, I was always a closer at the salon, so that way like I could stay late and do DMP in the morning because like you work from 3 to 9 a.m. for preloading, 9 a.m. to 11 or 12 for DMP, drive home, shower, take a nap, get up, and then go to the salon from 2 to 9, 2 to 8, 3 to 8, 3 to 7, like something like that, and then go back home, sleep, and then wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning for preload again.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I worked a lot. Yeah.
That is a schedule. I was gonna say that's a schedule.
That's a schedule.
Yeah, it was that. Because in between that too, on days I didn't have the salon is when I would go do Uber and Lyft and go do Uber Eats and stuff like that too.
I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah.
You've got to have a couple stories.
Oh.
From like Uber and like Lyft.
What kind of stories are you interested in?
I mean, how crazy are these people?
So I didn't meet crazy people. I did meet a lot of like college party kids.
Okay.
And then I met a creeper.
Oh,
This is a red flag right here, and you need to lie your fucking ass off right now because my alarm bells are ringing.
Yeah.
Ringing with this man.
Yeah.
But it was a fun time. Oh, and then there was one group of college boys too I had an issue with too. But
what?
I don't know. You want me to dive deep? Which one sounds more interesting? Ringing the alarms or the college boys?
Which one did you have more fun with?
I feel like for me, I feel like ringing in the alarms because the college boys thing, I feel like in my mind, I'm just like, I feel like that one would be predictable, but it may not be. But I think the ringing of the bells one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go with the creeper.
Okay, the creeper. Listen, I picked him up at TF Green Airport, which is the airport over here in Rhode Island.
Okay.
And he lived all the way in Tiverton, which is like an hour-ish, 45 to an hour away from the airport. I didn't realize that when I accepted the ride, but I said, you know what, whatever, because I'll circle back around to my house. I pick him up. He's an older guy, like maybe 60s, like small, but you can tell he's older.
How old were you at the time, if you don't mind?
I was 24.
Okay.
24, 25. And I pick him up. I'm like, oh, hey, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you can put your stuff in the trunk, la, 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 right? And then he comes to the driver window and he's like, "Can I sit in the front?" And I'm already like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Weird.
Yep.
Nobody ever wants to sit in the front seat. But I let him sit in the front seat. And he's just like quiet for a little bit from a good beginning part of the ride. And then we're getting closer. And he goes, "Oh, so how long have you been driving for Uber?" Don't ask your Uber or Lyft driver that question, please, because everybody asks that question. Everybody and their mother. And I just go, "Oh, yeah, I just started doing it for like a year or so." Because I hate getting asked. I'm just like, shut up. Yeah. But anyways, I'm like, "Yeah, I've been doing it for like a year or so, la, 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 la." And he was just like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Do you mind explaining to me, like, how it works?" Exactly. The faces you guys just made. Exactly. Boom. My alarm bell was like, ding, 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 ding. Who asked that?
Yeah.
That?
Weird.
So then I was like, "Oh, like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? How does the app work?" And he goes, "Oh, like, how do they know, like, where we are? And how do they know, like, where I was? Like, do they know where we are right now? La, 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 la." And I was just like, I got to lie out of my ass right now. And I don't even know if I'm lying, but this is what I said. Yeah. I said, "Oh, yeah, the app is like connected through your phone and my phone because I picked you up, right?" And he's like, "Okay." And I was like, "Yeah, so it's tracking that me and you are in this car right now together, driving to the address that you put in here. And it's showing how far away I am from you. And then from your house or whatever." And he was like, "Oh, so what if you pulled over right here?" And I was like, "The app would know I pulled over right here, and it would show that I dropped you off right here." And he was like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. I was just asking if that's how, like, what would happen if that's how it worked." And I was just like, "Oh, yeah, no, the app would know. The app would know."
Oh, what the fuck?
No, the app would know. But I was like, "Yeah, the app would know. It would show that we stopped right here. We weren't consecutively driving anymore." And it would be like, "Oh, okay, ride's over, la, 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 la." Right. And then he's like, "Oh, okay." He goes quiet again. And at this point, I'm getting hot.
Yeah.
My hands are starting to get clammy. And I'm just like, "You're cool, Kim. You're cool. Keep it cool. Calm, collected," right? We keep driving. We start to head into like swampland. Like, it was just I can't even say it was the woods. It was literally, it looked like swamp area where he lived. And I was like, "Oh my God, this man's gonna kill me." That's literally the thought that came through my head.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, so can you just like end the ride right now? Like, can you just pull over and like leave me here right now?" And I was just like, "I don't see any houses here. I don't think that's a great idea unless you like want to walk to your house. Like, is that what you want to do?" And he was like, "Oh, no, it's okay. Like, well, it's fine. Just drop me off at my house." So I was like split 50-50 with why he said that. I was like, does he not want me to see where he lives, or is he trying to do something else? Like,
yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I
get a notification on my phone of another ride saying they want to be picked up. And I was like, "Oh, thank God." I accepted it. He hears the chime and everything. He accepts it. He goes, "Oh, what's that?" And I was like, "Oh, so you see that chime and how I accepted it?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "That's the other driver that I have to pick up the other customers that I have to pick up right after I drop you off. So they can see that I'm still on a ride with you. And they're going to see when I drop you off so that it shows how long it takes me to get to them." Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Oh, okay. Wow, they really got everything covered in this app, huh?"
Yeah, fucking right they do.
Like, yeah, they do. Get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
like, can't get the fuck out of this car fast enough.
Literally, like 2 minutes after that, he gets his stuff. He gets out of the car. He starts walking towards his house. It's all black, no lights on, anything. Literally in the middle of nowhere, you guys. And I was like, "Well, yeah, you have a great night. Like, bye." I fucking get out of there so fast.
Oh my God.
I was like sweating, and I was like, "Oh my God, thank you, Jesus." Like, it was just weird. The questions he was asking is weird.
Like, I just had anxiety listening to you tell this story. Like, I was over here like, holy shit.
I know, like, asking about the app, that's so fucking
that's weird.
odd. Like, I've never, and like, I've not,
God.
I've just in all of the rides that I've been on and the Ubers that I have been on, for me, it's always been with a group because I don't really. I mean, now I don't go out anymore per se. But when I've been on Ubers in the past, it's been like friends of mine's bachelor parties and shit like that. And then if you get in conversation, like that would be the weirdest thing to just be like, what? Like, especially as you got this dude asking. I mean, if it would be me, like I'm saying it as a dude and not a female, I would think that's still odd as fuck to ask. So that would be like ultra fucking.
So like just the questions were weird as hell. Weird as hell.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so you want to know the best part? The college boys were the next ride.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm kind of curious. So yeah, I was gonna ask you to tell that story too because I am curious.
I drive to the next address. It's like 10 to 15 minutes away. I pick up these 3 college students, right? Some people like to talk with the Uber driver. Some people don't. I always have to feel out the vibe and see if they do or if they don't.
Mm-hmm.
So these are 3 college boys. I'm thinking, oh yeah, I can shoot the shits with them. They don't really care, whatever, right? We're driving and they're all talking about the house that they're renting out or whatever. And they were like, yeah, that house is so nice. Like, not to say they're entitled, but they kind of sounded a little bit like stuck. What is it? Like, spoiled?
Stuck up.
I almost said stuck up.
Spoiled.
I guess that's the same thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he was like, the kid that sat in the passenger seat, he was like, oh yeah, that house is so nice, but it would be so much better if she puts a pool in there. I don't know why she doesn't just put a pool in the backyard. Like she could just, there's plenty of room back there to do it. And I was just, I literally like looked over at him. I was like, oh, maybe she just doesn't want to deal with like the maintenance of a pool. Cause pools are expensive after a while to keep them clean and all that stuff. Car goes silent. And I was just like, okay.
You're like, all right.
Weird. And then the 2 in the back start talking again, and I'm like, oh, I was like, I don't know, was it me? Like, I don't know. So then I just listened to their conversation again. They start out talking about something else, whatever. And then I chimed in again. Like, I just said something else. I forget what it was. I think we were talking about food and restaurants in the Newport area. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, yeah, I've heard that this restaurant is actually really good and they make really good burgers, blah, 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 blah. Silence.
Really?
Completely silent.
What?
And, like, the silence was already making me uneasy after the situation I just had.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have these 3 grown-ass guys in my car. And, like, every time I say something, they're just completely silent. And I'm like, this is getting really weird right now. Like, I don't like this feeling. Like, I'm uncomfortable. So then we keep going. And then I make it to the main street where the bar was that they were going to. And they start talking again about, like, bagging some girls or whatever, this, that, and the fifth. And I was like, oh, you guys are gonna have a great time. I'm like, not like you. I basically made a comment that they were all like attractive and young, and they're gonna have a great time or whatever. Silence.
Really? What the fuck?
Silent. Finally, I get to the bar. They all get out of the car. They leave, and they 1-starred me. That was my first 1-star ever.
And I heard that affects and I heard that affects drivers like
a lot.
Yeah.
And it literally, that was my first 1-star I ever had. And right off the backs of what happened with that old man, I was like, I'm going home.
I'm done for the night. Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what just happened. Like, I was like,
what the fuck?
Maybe they're just the type that are like, oh, like, the type that are like, oh, women don't talk, like, just sit there and look pretty kind of thing. Because that's the vibe they kept giving me. Every time I was trying to, like, input in their conversation, it was like,
why is she talking?
Yeah. And I was like, this is the wrong kind of college kids I picked up.
I was going to say, because I was sitting there thinking when I said predictable, because I was saying I was thinking back to when I was in school, and I'll say that definitely did not see where that was going, because holy shit. I was even thinking, I'm like, if I was a college age kid and you said that to me as a college age kid I would be like, the fact that I'd be like, oh, thanks, this is fucking awesome. This is going to be an awesome night. Thank you.
Exactly.
Say whatever.
Exactly.
At least get into the fact that it was silence. Like, that actually stunned me. And they 1-starred you. Like, what?
That's wild.
What a bunch of motherfuckers. I wonder if
weird. It's weird too, because when you can feel someone staring at you.
Yeah.
That's what it was with the silence.
Oh,
With
God.
the silence, and you're driving, and like you see in your peripheral the passenger driver just literally like.
Jesus.
I'm just like, oh my God. I'm like, this is a bad night. You know, I think I Ubered maybe 2 or 3 more nights after that, and then I was done.
You were done with it.
I was like, this is, I don't know. I'm like, I can't,
I
after
have
a while,
to
I
deal
was
with
like,
that right after too, of all times.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah,
it was back to back the same night, and I was like, yeah, I got to do something else.
Oh my God.
It was scary for sure.
God.
Luckily, I've never had anybody throw up in my car, though.
That's good.
That's a good thing.
Let's go back on a lighter note, y'all.
The lighter note would be back to UPS. No.
Back to UPS.
So driving since 2018, getting the job there, all that good stuff. Do you have your own route or no?
No, I'm just a cover driver.
Okay.
And I preloaded for a year and a half, so I started driving in 2020.
Yes. Just before COVID.
Yes, exactly. Right before COVID. But I still got hired during that whole shit show. So for me, those kind of numbers, those kind of loads, those trucks are normal now. Like, I'm like, oh, this short post? Yeah. I can deal with this, honey. I used to have a truck that was blown out. You couldn't even open the bulkhead door. You were just like, let me just grab this and deliver that. Like, you were like, squeeze. Okay, let's deliver this for now. Because now at least the short post packages are small.
That's true.
So, like, you just line it up and it's small.
So one thing we didn't get into last night with this was another thing that always interested me too with the beginning of COVID. When you were delivering to people, were people weirded out and like get out and tell you to not stop? Like,
Yes.
I have a story about it too.
Because I love these stories because I had a lot too. But go ahead.
I had people walk out of their front door to like their edge of the porch, and they would say, "You can leave it right there." I'm like, thank you. I'll leave it and go. By the way, like I don't gotta walk up there. I don't gotta talk to you. You don't gotta talk to me. Even better.
It's great.
Out of here.
It's great. Have you ever had anybody that was like almost aggressive towards it?
No, I just had a lot of old sick people because I did a lot of rural areas the first 2 years. So it was like a lot of old sick people that it was weird because some of them are handicapped. So like you have to open the door and put it on the table. But then with the whole COVID thing, they're like, no, leave it outside. I have to sanitize it.
Spray it down.
Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I feel so bad for y'all. Like, oh my God.
I had one guy where he was getting his mail and I had a package for him and he was at the bottom of his driveway because I too have a rural route and I was approaching his car and it was in the middle of COVID and I was approaching his car and this man rolls down his back window, not even his front, his back window, because God forbid I'm actually like facing him. You know what I mean?
My God.
So he rolls down his back window and he's like, I was like, oh, hey, sir, I just got one here for you. And he was like, you put that down right there. I'm not getting close to you. I'm not touching the box until that's sanitized. Like, he was like very stern and like, just like very aggressive towards it. And I was like, all right, bud, like, gonna leave it right here for you, bro. You're all set, dude. And just like, it was the weirdest, like after COVID ended, if you will. It's still going, but whatever. Nobody cares anymore. But but like after that, it was always like the weirdest vibe anytime I would deliver there because I would see him and I'd hand a box to him face to face. And it was just like the weirdest vibe. Like I was just like,
weird.
Like I remember this dude being an absolute prick.
He still hates you. He just can't do something about it anymore.
That's probably it.
I think the worst part of like the whole pandemia is businesses wouldn't let you use the bathroom anymore. And I'm literally looking at these Am I not in uniform? Do I not look like I have a vagine and I need to use the bathroom?
This has been brought up
a man.
before.
Like, a man can go pee outside. He could pee in a bottle, like the whole nine. But like me, it was a struggle. I used to have to drive all the way off route to go to a post office to use the bathroom.
No.
And thank God, like, everybody at work knows me. I manifest porta potties, but like, they know me as like the porta potty queen. And I'm like, oh my God, manifest the porta potty right now for me, y'all. Like, I gotta go. And like, all of a sudden, everyone like on the line would be like, oh my God, Kim, a porta potty. Oh my God, Kim, a porta potty. So now it's like, whenever we see a porta potty, it's like the crown. It's like, oh my God, King, right now.
That's incredible.
Like, in any other job, a porta potty, you would be disgusted. You'd be like, I don't give a fuck about a porta potty, right? Our job, I know that our eyes just light up. We're just like, what? Yup, I'm using it.
It's so true.
It is.
There's been a ton of construction in my route area, and they've been everywhere, and it's been an awesome couple years.
I mean, it's so nice.
That's
so
true.
nice.
So
I actually had a church on my super rural route. I used to do 130, 145 miles a day with 80 stops or so. And there was a church up there because there was nothing. When I say there was nothing over there was nothing. And there was a church over there that actually caught me peeing on the side of the road because I had to go so bad. Like, I could not hold it. And I tried to angle the truck so that I could just, go really quick. Yeah. And like, they saw. So I don't know if like the community got together or like the library and the church or whatever. But they ended up getting the extra large porta potty outside the church so that we, like, us workers could use it. And it's still there to this day. Like, the extra large porta potty, the big one that you can roll in a wheelchair and everything. And they get it cleaned every week. I'm like, oh, thank you. Nice. Thank you so much.
Wow.
That literally
that's not where I thought that was going, but that's great.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Everybody says, Kim, manifest the porta potty for me right now. I'm like, okay, I will. I will manifest one for you.
It's like the State Farm commercials, like a good neighbor.
Everybody's there. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Oh my God.
Kim, the porta potty queen. I might have to title this episode. No, I'm just kidding. I won't do that. I won't do that to you.
The manifesting queen.
The porta potty queen.
I thought about making like a UPS like funny merch shirt that is literally a porta potty with a crown over it.
Hysterical.
The guys laugh about it. They're like, oh my God, that's a good idea.
It is.
I believe it was like 6-7 years ago, probably. But I posted a picture. It was like there was one day out on my route, all of a sudden like these porta potties started popping up, and there was like 4 of them. In like one day, I saw 4 of them, and I'm out there in a rural route. And I took pictures of every one of them, and I was like, it's real. And I posted it on my social media, and I was like, it's really about knowing where your amenities are while on this job. It's true. It's true.
Exactly.
Yep.
Anytime I see like a new house is about to go up, I'm like, where's the porta potty over there? I need to know. Where's it at? Like, even when I'm on a blind and I see like construction trucks and trailers and all this stuff, I'm like, let me pull up real quick. I don't have to go, but I'ma still go. Just to try. Because I don't know when the next one I'ma see.
That's incredible.
I gotta bring this up because I'm pretty sure, man. I wish I was able to get a hold of him. I should have messaged him before because I've been thinking about this since we brought it up. But I think shout out to Ernie Martinez. I don't think Ernie Martinez uses porta potties. This is a driver that he's the one he's never peed in a bottle and he refuses to. So I was trying to think if Ernie. He'll listen to this and tell me, but I don't know how you can't. But I think I've called him a unicorn because he's so rare. But he might be the one driver that wouldn't use one. Mm-hmm. I won't hold you to that though.
There's a few guys at work too that are like, I never pee in a bottle, and I'm like, yeah, well, look at your fucking route. You have like 50 businesses on it. Of course you don't need to pee in a bottle. The fuck.
Yeah.
What argument are you giving me right now, sir? Right. Like, of course, if I can feel I have to go to the bathroom and I can make it and make time to go somewhere, I'll drive off route and go to the bathroom.
Of course.
But sometimes, like,
right.
you're like,
go,
oh my God,
go.
my bladder's about to explode. That's it.
That's it.
And then when you see the porta potty, you're like, oh, right here, perfect.
Or it's like anytime a customer or you go to a business and they're like, oh, you need anything? You need water? You need to use the bathroom? You're like, yes, I do.
You know what's funny? A lot of porta potties that are like at those pop-up construction sites where they're building houses and stuff like that tend to be cleaner than the public restrooms at like a CVS and a Walgreens.
That's true.
The ones at CVS in my town are disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Like a shit on the walls. Like,
oh God! And it stinks like piss when you walk in there. You can see the pee droplets everywhere.
No.
Like I would much rather use one of those porta potties because they get them cleaned every
That's
2-3 days. They're doing construction. Like they're way cleaner than those public bathrooms. Some of those public bathrooms are just like. I walked into one time to go use it. The guy who was in there before me threw up all over the toilet, and you could smell vomit. And I was like. I don't have to pee anymore, and I walked right the fuck back out. I was like, I will piss myself before I pee on that. That's disgusting. God. And guess what? Manifested a porta potty 5 minutes later.
There you go. So you guys have heard it here first. Use the porta potty before a public restroom. That's it. That's incredible.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. So sidetracked.
I swear to
it's
God,
so good.
That's
so from porta potties to 16-year-old modeling.
Modeling.
That's when you started.
Okay,
16 years old. Go ahead.
I grew up. I always wanted to be an actress, so I took like acting classes and modeling classes and all that stuff when I was younger. So I would always hope it would pan out for me, but. It was kind of difficult during the age of when I was trying to do stuff because a certain look was in and I did not fit a certain look because I'm 5'2", and a lot of models that do runway and stuff like that are taller than 5'9", so I always struggled with that. And because I'm short, it means that I'm more directed towards like lingerie, swimwear, and commercial stuff. So that's kind of what I made my whole thing to be. And as I got older, things happen, life happens. So the past 4 years, I've been jumping back into it. And I started doing more bikini shoots, getting connected with more agencies and stuff. And I signed, we kind of paired, you don't really sign, with Twisted Angels, which is a company that really primarily have alternative models because I do have some ink on me. I'm not covered in ink, which majority of their models are, but because I have ink on me, I count as alternative. So because I was working with them for a while. They actually reached out to other people and they help you network and you get to meet other photographers and other shoots and stuff like that. And I went to this big shoot-a-thon 4 years ago in New York in Coney Island because I love going to New York, honey. Shout out New York, shout out Brooklyn. But anyway. I went to Coney Island for a sunrise shoot. It was like 3 a.m. and I met like 20 photographers. There was designers there. They would dress you up in their wear. They would like make stuff on you. You would shoot in their stuff. You would either be in their magazines, in their shops, or whatever have you. And I ended up making really good connection with 2 photographers I still shoot with today. And one of those photographers is the main one I shoot with, where I'm in all these magazines. These aren't like high-end magazines, like they're not like Vogue or anything, but baby steps, I just got notification today that I just got the cover of, how do you say it? Le Majesté magazine. I was like, oh my God, I'm coming. Let's go.
Nice. Congratulations.
But yeah, I love it. I love
awesome.
doing it. All the guys tell me, they're like, Kim, what the fuck are you doing here? Go live your life and go do that. I'm like, there's no security in it yet. Like I'm too afraid because I struggled a lot when I was 18. And like this job gives me so much security, not even just the paycheck, but like the health benefits and everything we have. And like, of course, the future, like 401 retirement, like there's so much security in that for me to just walk away from it and try to pursue this is scary. It's scary. So I just do it on the side. It's like a good outlet from work, And
it's
Absolutely.
it's so I love because it's so against what you would call like the quote unquote norm. Like we had a driver on Corey Wagner, who was a feeder driver, and she's a figure builder, like a bodybuilder, like because everybody would say like if you would want to gain weight or get fat, go into feeder driver. So there's like this female bodybuilder feeder driver who's so it's like because when you think of our job and like you would think of like modeling, like you see a picture of you on the cover of a magazine or something and you're modeling, and you think of like a UPS driver, and like the people, like the outside people don't really know like we like the people that do it, but they'll hear stories like it's like it's hard labor, it's dirty, it's not like it's you don't think of those two worlds like colliding. Yeah. So it's so like I think it's fucking awesome because it'll be like it's got to be, I mean it's got to be I mean you're the first person that's done modeling on the podcast, and I would have to say as a UPS driver, it makes me curious if there's any like it's got to be super rare because it's
for sure.
Yeah.
I think the best part is like, so I have a lot of morals and self-respect. I don't go down the other end of modeling, like OF and like that kind of stuff. I don't do that stuff at all because for me, I have morals. And because the way I hold myself, like at work and stuff like that, everybody has so much respect for me, and like they don't try to be dirty or slide into the DMs or like, those nasty remarks you sometimes get. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand men. We joke around, I get it. But I know if it were to go the other route, it'd be way different because some girls at work do that stuff and I see the difference,
right?
But yeah,
the guy, the way you're talking about, you see the way the guys act between the difference between you and another
and
driver.
How they treat her versus me or anything like that. Like it's different. Like
sure.
But I don't know. The guys are always like, "Oh my God, Kim, you're doing so good. Like you need to get out there." I'm like, "I'm trying. Thank you."
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I mean, it's true though with like the insurance and stuff. That is because it's stuff like that really you don't think of. I mean, that's a hard thing to walk away from too. So I get the security thing. I totally understand that.
Yep.
It is. That's awesome. Yeah, saying congratulations on the cover.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Definitely.
That is amazing. I mean, that was going to take me into my next question, but you basically just answered it. And that I was going to say what kind of shoots, all that you're talking about. You lean more towards like the bikinis and shoots.
Yeah,
and all
bikini and like lingerie.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to open the door to do music videos. I was in one. It's supposed to drop this month. I don't know when, but they already sent out the teaser for it. And you see me in the teaser, like we were all outside, like, let us in the club. What you mean you're full? La 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 la. We're all yelling to get in. And then finally the rapper comes outside and he said, nah, fuck that. Let them all in. And then you see me run and I turn around to my girls. I'm like, let's go. And we go inside.
Amazing.
So that's like the teaser for the music video. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait. It's like a rap song. Like, I didn't even know this rapper. I didn't even know the song. I was like, oh, I feel so bad. But I learned it while we were there. And like, we were just vibing, right? And I was wearing a red and blue, like swirl tie-dye kind of dress. And everyone was wearing black. And I went up to the DJ and I was like, should I change? Like, I have extra clothes in the car I could change into. Like, I didn't know what the vibe was for the video. And they were like, no, stay like that, because you'll stand out. I'm like, but I don't want to stand out too much. Like, I'm literally red and blue and everybody's black. Oh my God. Okay. Even my friends, because I had brought my girlfriends with me and they were all wearing black. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So I'm kind of excited to see how that turns out.
That's awesome.
But I did tell the DJ, I was like, you need to connect me more. I need to be in some more. Let's go.
Yes. That's right. That's amazing. It's
fun. It's so fun.
Oh, totally. Last but not least, I believe you said you and your brother have a merch.
Oh my God, we have a clothing brand that we came out with. It has like UPS merch in there. I only made like 4 shirts so far because I'm still trying to come up with ideas for shirts.
Yep.
But Then I have like my own like Savvy merch, and then there's actually just t-shirts, like just t-shirts, hoodies, pants, like all kinds of different designs and stuff that we like to just design.
Mm-hmm.
So like we just started that together this past year for fun, and
awesome.
We're gonna see. Hopefully it takes off. You never know.
Awesome. And where can people find that?
Oh, it's a savvyandsavage.store. But you can find it in my bio, like in my link on Kimba Savvy on Instagram. Actually, Kimba Savvy is my handle for everything. Literally Fortnite, for anybody who wants to play Fortnite with me. Fortnite, okay.
Oh,
But
nice. I
literally
haven't played in a
Fortnite,
minute.
Instagram, TikTok. I don't use it that much anymore. I deleted it, but I still have it there. Actually, I had a viral UPS video. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Really?
But I had over 20,000 views on that video. Yeah, it was on my Instagram.
Nice.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you after this. But basically, in the video, I'm talking about, you know how when you start the truck and it goes...
Yeah.
In the video, I start the video saying, listen, if you guys have a headset, you might want to turn the volume down for this specific video, but I just want to show you guys what I have to deal with at work when it comes to sounds.
And that was it?
And then I do the blinker, and then I do the hazards, and then I do the e-brake. I'm like, yeah, that's what we deal with. Do you know? Somebody commented trying to say, oh, you act like it's such a big deal. Like you don't do it that often or something like that. Sir, you do not know the rules of the road and the way to drive.
Right.
Don't you just love those trolls?
I'll send it to you after.
Please do. Please do. That's amazing. Luke, do you we're going on a little over an hour now with Kim. Do you have anything else for her?
I was trying to think. I think we uncovered a couple things from last. I tell you, the gems of. I tell you, the porta potty thing is going to be something. That might have been my favorite one because I swear to God, for anybody outside of Ernie Martinez, again, Ernie, I don't know if I'm pretty sure you don't. Like I said, just like. But for 99% of drivers, they're godsends when you see them, and it just made me laugh just at the summoning. But I think we were gonna do. I think I'm good. I was trying to think of we said we were gonna save the question of the week for the next recording because it was a really long one and we didn't. We just figured we would get this more on focus this one more on Kim. So yeah, I think I'm good on my end. Like I said earlier, I appreciate. Thank you so much for coming back on so we could get this because it really it just, shit happens sometimes, I guess. We're at the mercy of the internet. It just didn't agree with us last night.
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Yes. For those listening, I threw these guys off track because I gave them different stories than yesterday.
Yes, you did.
And
like Luke said, the porta potty was probably, that's
a gem.
That's incredible.
That's such a gem. Yeah,
incredible.
I love that.
The porta potty queen. Kim, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for doing this again.
Yes, hopefully it works.
Guys, go follow Kim on Instagram and everything, like she just said. Kimba Savvy, Fortnite, if you want to play Fortnite with her. Kimba Savvy, KIMBASAVVY. I'll post a link to her Instagram in the description of this episode too, so everyone could just click it and go. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Kim, thank you again. Guys, hope y'all are having a great start to the week here, and everyone be safe out there, right? I'm Dave, my co-host Luke, our special guest Kim. Kim, don't go anywhere either. Let's wait till after this, all right, to say goodbye. We'll catch y'all next week.
Hey, everybody.